Wow, what an absolute thriller. We're diving deep into a football game that had, well, pretty much everything you could ask for. Goals flying in, lead changes that felt impossible, and some truly standout moments from players, everyone's talking about. This was the Nations League semifinal, Spain versus France in Stuttgart.
That's right. And it was Spain who ultimately took the win. An unbelievable 5-4 scoreline over France.
Incredible.
And that secures their spot in the final against Portugal. Roberto Martinez's Portugal.
And for Spain, this is just a massive opportunity, isn't it? They're the current Nations League champions and the Euro champions, too.
Yeah.
Portugal, of course, they won the very first Nations League, so whoever lifts the trophy on Sunday, it'll be their second time.
A big one.
Huge chance for Spain to go back-to-back in this competition.
And Sunday's final promises some really intriguing battles, too. You've got, Lamine Yamal potentially up against Nuno Mendes on one side.
Ooh, yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo testing that Spain defense, which, as we saw here, can definitely leak goals.
Definitely.
And maybe a fascinating midfield clash. Vitinha versus Pedri, perhaps. Lots of interesting matchups to look forward to.
But let's get back into this game, because honestly, the scoreline is wild, but the journey to get there. Spain winning 5-4 is one thing, but they were leading 4-0.
I know. Around the 56th minute, 4-0.
Just staggering.
Absolutely. 4-0 down in a semifinal. That felt like, genuine humiliation. An embarrassing defeat was looming for France.
Totally.
But then, somehow, the whole thing flipped. It went 5-1, and then by the final whistle, France had clawed it back to 5-4.
Amazing fight back.
They couldn't quite find the equalizer, but that fight back itself, immensely impressive. It changed the feeling from, total disaster to just, a very, very high-scoring loss.
Okay, so let's unpack this roller coaster. How on earth did the game shift so dramatically? The tactics, the key moments, how did all 9 goals happen? Let's dive in. Thinking about this game, there must have been certain players whose performances really stood out. Which fans do you think were happiest watching their guys?
Well, it's hard not to start with Barcelona fans, isn't it? Their club's on a break, but they got to see Lamine, Yamal, and Pedri just sparkle.
Yeah, they were brilliant.
Yamal was sensational, honestly.
Yeah.
And Pedri's goal, which I'm sure we'll get to, plus his overall influence, just fantastic. Seeing their young stars doing that for Spain, to be incredibly satisfying.
And what about other clubs with players involved? Real Madrid?
Definitely Real Madrid fans, too. Mbappe played, scored his penalty, a decent showing. But the real intrigue for them, I think, was seeing their new signing, Hussein. He made a real impact, even with Spain conceding goals.
You noticed him?
Oh, yeah. His ability to carry the ball, his passing range, you saw glimpses of real quality there. This is the kid Mourinho gave a debut to at Roma, called him special.
Right.
Hussein even had this incredible free kick set up by Mourinho, disallowed for offside, if that had stood.
Wow.
World class. So Madrid fans who hadn't seen much of him must be pretty excited now.
Any others? PSG City? Arsenal?
Well, PSG fans saw Dembélé and Kolo Muani. They weren't dominant early on, but PSG fans probably still riding high from the Champions League anyway.
Sure.
Manchester City fans, though, I bet they were glued to it, thinking, when is Turkey coming? Just sign him. Pay the money.
Because he came on and...
He came off the bench for his senior debut, played about half an hour, and honestly, he completely changed the game for France. City fans must be absolutely buzzing about him.
Wow.
And Arsenal fans, they'd be pleased seeing Mourinho's performance, his goal too. Strong showing.
And you mentioned wingers causing problems. Nico Williams had a big game too, and there's always transfer chat around him.
Nico Williams, yeah. In my view, he's an exceptional winger. Sometimes his output at club level might fluctuate a bit. But when he's surrounded by top players, like in this Spain team, his impact, his productivity, it just soars. He's genuinely top class.
Okay, let's shift from the fans to the pitch. How did the teams actually line up at the start, tactically?
Well, France came in with some defensive injury issues. We saw a long start in center back who looked, frankly, a bit average.
A weak link.
Felt like a potential issue right from the lineup, yeah. Kalulu, who's versatile but maybe not a specialist there, started at right back. Gusto was on the bench. Koundé injured too.
Right.
Midfield, Rabiot started again. Deschamps seems really attached to him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Even with Camavinga, Tchouaméni available, Manu Kone playing well.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So France went with a double pivot, 4 attackers. Mbappe, Désiré Doué, Dembélé, and Elise more central. They started okay, but those defensive vulnerabilities, they showed up pretty quickly.
And Spain?
Spain had Unai Simón in goal. fantastic game from him. Some crucial reflex saves. Hussein and Lenormand at center back. Pora right back, Cucurella left back.
Okay.
Midfield three. Pedri, then Zubimendi deeper, the controller.
Right.
Very safe passes. Bills play well, always an option. Though he did give away a couple of early fouls.
Right.
And Marino was the most advanced of the three. Up front, Oyarzabal, central, good link up, holds it well. Nico Williams left. Lamine Yamal right. Spain maybe took a few minutes just to settle into the game's rhythm.
France did try to get going early, though, didn't they? Yamal didn't see much ball immediately, but when he did...
Yeah, you saw it straight away. He immediately started causing problems for Theo Hernandez. Desiree Doué was on that side too. Had to track back a lot to help Theo out.
It's like he already commands that respect or fear.
Totally. Defenders don't seem to press him super aggressively. They sort of stand off, wait, almost wary of him. He's so left-footed, everyone knows he wants to cut inside, but stopping it.
Still so hard.
Exactly. And beyond the dribbling, he's just an exceptional creator, trying these complex passes, trivolas, with real purpose. This is definitely one of his best games for Spain.
And steps up in big games.
He just does. Euros, Champions League, Clásicos, knockout games. Like, just another match for him. The composure is unreal. We saw Mbappe test Simon early. Theo hit the bar too. So that was genuinely incredible. Vital saves throughout.
Yeah. So how did Spain actually break the deadlock then? The first goal?
Spain decided to just slow it down a bit, keep the ball. It worked its way out to Yamal on the right.
Here we go.
Theo and Desiree Doué were there, but Theo was maybe a bit on his back foot. Yamal then played this absolutely exceptional pass into the box. Didn't get the direct assist, but he made the goal, no question.
Created the opening.
Completely. The pass found Oyarzabal, great hold up against Konaté, then he laid it off to Nico Williams on his left. France really should have defended that better.
And the finish?
Nico Williams, with Kalulu close by, just struck it beautifully from inside the area. Clean, powerful. First goal.
And the second wasn't far behind.
No, just a few minutes later. And this goal really showed why Zubimendi is so important, even if he's, understated.
The quiet controller.
Exactly. You don't always notice him. Safe passes, keeps things ticking. But he won the ball back from Mbappe this time. Spain kept it. Ball got to Zubimendi near halfway. And then he played this absolutely stunning pass.
The line breaker.
Oh, yeah. Split the lines. Took maybe 6 French players right out of the game.
Yeah.
Just incredible vision.
Wow. Who did it find?
Found Marino in that right half space, that dangerous channel. Marino, remembers, the most advanced midfielder.
Right.
He played a sharp one-touch pass into Oyarzabal, who drunked deep outside the box. French defenders looked a bit lost, unsure who to mark.
Pulled them out of position.
Yeah, Oyarzabal, receiving it, drew Konaté towards him. Oyarzabal then played this beautiful return pass back into the box for Marino, who'd kept running.
Great movement.
And Marino's finish, superb, measured, controlled, tucked it past Mania, who stretched but couldn't get there. 2-0 after just 25 minutes. And both sides had already had chances by then.
It sounds like even at 2-0, France were still creating things. Simon was busy.
Oh, absolutely. He was earning his keep. Saved a powerful shot from Desiree Doué after he cut inside. Dembele had a go too from the right side of the box. Silky move past the defender, but Simon denied him as well. He was having a blinder.
You mentioned Yamal's skill, but you also touched on his defensive work. That's important too.
Crucially important, yeah. He's not just about the attack. He gets what a modern winger needs to do. His tracking back is excellent.
Really?
Yeah, if he loses the ball, especially deeper, he doesn't just stand there. He works immediately to win it back. Saw him do it against Desiree Doué. He's a proper team player in that sense. His maturity is just...
Wow.
Yeah.
And improving other areas too. Finishing.
Definitely improving his finishing. Taking more shots. It was maybe a weaker point before, but it's getting better. You honestly have to wonder, what is his ceiling? He's phenomenal.
That battle with Desiree Doué sounds interesting.
It was. Yamal winning the ball back defensively. On the other side, Nico Williams was just tormenting Kalulu. Couldn't handle him. Nico had early attempts saved by Mignon too. And Doué, for a young player, showed real power in his shooting.
And Pedri, we'll get to the goal, but his overall game, how did he fit in?
Pedri, under De La Fuente, he's playing a bit more advanced sometimes, getting chances to arrive in the box. Marino's usually the furthest forward, but Pedri pushes up a lot.
Still controlling things, though.
Oh, yeah, he's exquisite at controlling the tempo, gliding, protecting the ball. Just beautiful to watch, but I still feel he could add more goals, more direct impact in the final third.
He has the ability.
He absolutely can score. Maybe we'll see that more under Hansi Flick next season. I mean, he's world-class anyway, but adding goals, that'd be something else.
But important to be balanced, right? Any mistakes?
Well, yeah, you have to be. There was that moment in the first half. Pedri lost it fairly deep in Spain's half. Led directly to that Dembélé chance Simon saved.
Okay.
If that goes in, it's a goal directly from his error. Gotta mention those things, even with players you admire.
Fair enough. Okay, back to the goal rush.
Yeah.
Spain made it 3-0 from a penalty. Yamal won it.
Yes, this came from a high press. Schouten, the holding midfielder, pressed Manu Kone deep, won the ball. Kone went down looking for a foul, maybe stayed down a bit long. Ref Clattenburg wasn't having it, waved play on. Ball broke to Nico Williams on the left.
Yeah.
And Nico did something clever here.
What was that?
Instead of staying wide, he drove inside, centrally. Yamal saw it, ran wide right into the space Nico vacated.
Smart rotation.
Very smart. Nico played the pass across to Yamal. Rabiot tracked him, the defensive midfielder, but fouled him just inside the area. Clear penalty after the check.
And Yamal stepped up himself.
He did. Took responsibility, stood there waiting for the VAR check, bouncing the ball off his shoulder, looked completely unfazed. Zero pressure.
Even though he's missed them for Barca?
Yeah. But you wouldn't know it. Incredible coolness for his age. He converted it beautifully, sent Maignan the wrong way. His first professional penalty goal for Spain.
Big moment.
Huge. Winning it, decided to take it, finishing it so calmly with other experienced guys around.
Yeah.
Says a lot about his mentality. Then he just went back to causing chaos.
And then, goal number 4. The Pedri magic, you called it.
Oh yes, Pedri's moment. Pure magic is the only way to describe it. Like I said, playing a bit more advanced, crashing the box.
How did it happen?
Throw in for Spain near France's box. They worked it around a bit. Konate tried to step up on Marino, missed. The ball came down, crucially, behind Pedri.
Okay.
But he controlled it with the back of his foot behind him. It's hard to even explain the technique. Just exceptional instinctive control. Pure baller.
Wow.
Then he drove forward, picked out Nico Williams running into the box on the left. Nico played a clever return pass back towards Pedri.
Oh.
And again, the pass was slightly behind him.
No way.
Yes. But Pedri controlled it again, this time with his other foot.
Yeah.
Took another touch forward with his weaker left foot and curled it perfectly over Maignan into the net.
Unbelievable skill.
The first touch, the drive, the return, the second incredible touch, the finish with the weaker foot. Sublime. If you're a Barca fan watching that, Pedri and Yamal, you just feel lucky.
Only his 3rd goal for Spain, you said.
Yeah, only the 3rd. Usually dictates deeper, controls beautifully, but he clearly can score. Needs to do it more, maybe. Increase that final 3rd impact. He has the quality, the ball striking.
So 56 minutes gone, Spain are 4-0 up. France must have been absolutely shell-shocked.
Completely. And then almost immediately they pulled one back. 58th minute.
How?
Pedro Porro, who can be, defensively suspect sometimes.
Yeah.
He fouled Mbappe driving into the box from the left. Clear penalty.
And Mbappe.
Converted it coolly, no pressure, made it 4-1.
Okay, so this is where the comeback really starts to gather steam. What changed? How did France get back into it after being so far down?
Well, Deschamps made big changes. Triple sub around 65 minutes. Barcola on for Doué on the left. Cherki replaced Elise, who hadn't really impacted centrally. And Gusto on for Kalulu, who really struggled with Nico Williams.
That's some firepower off the bench.
Exactly. Shows the depth France has. See, initially, Spain looked like a proper team working together. France had amazing individuals, but weren't clicking. Deschamps needed to make them a team, and these subs definitely helped.
Spain made changes too, though.
They did, around the same time. Dani Olmo for Nico Williams, Fabian Ruiz for Pedri. Later, Vivian for Lenormand, Samuel Merodio up front.
And did Spain's changes have an effect? Maybe negatively.
They arguably did, yeah. Taking off Nico Williams particularly, Spain lost his threat on the left, but crucially his defensive tracking back. That really helped Cucurella.
Ah, okay.
Taking Pedri off affected midfield control too, sure. Fabian Ruiz didn't quite seem to get into the pace immediately, but losing Nico felt like the bigger tactical blow for Spain.
Complacency maybe crept in for Spain too.
Probably a bit of that, yeah. With that huge lead. And France's subs just clicked. Barcola's pace troubled Porro straight away. Gusto's pace on the right gave them an outlet, especially with no Nico Williams tracking back. And Cherki,
Tell me about Cherki's impact.
his intelligence, finding space. He was given freedom to roam, left half space, right central. And he just made a massive impact in those little pockets. Plus, Mbappe and Dembélé raised their game. France pressed higher, more energy. That 4-0 humiliation clearly lit a fire.
But hang on, Spain scored again after these subs. Goal number 5.
They did. Shows they still had that threat. Zubimendi, again, another excellent long diagonal ball.
Yeah.
He spots those passes.
He really does.
Found Pedro Porro, who took a fantastic first touch, instantly played a sharp pass, releasing Yamal into the box.
And Yamal again.
Yamal again. Beautiful finish. At first, I thought maybe right foot, his weaker one.
Yeah.
But no, watching back, it was his stronger left, tucked away perfectly. Manuel went down early, got sort of flag-footed, as they sometimes say. Yamal's too quick for that.
And the celebration.
Set on the advertising board.
Yeah.
He likes that one. 2 goals in a semifinal just confirms he's a big game player. That made it 5-1.
Right, 5-1. And then France began that incredible late surge. 3 goals to make it 5-4.
Exactly. France brought on Luanès for long in defense, good change, long struggled. Then Turkey's influence really shone.
How so?
He played this utterly incredible through ball from the left half space, beat maybe 8 Spanish players, found Dembele's run on the right. Dembele looked almost surprised it reached him. Got there, Simone was maybe caught slightly in no man's land coming out. Dembele tried to hit the post. Difficult chance. But the pass from Turkey, pure class.
And then Turkey scored himself.
Moments later, yeah. 78th minute. Mbappe wasn't closed down properly on the left, laid it back to Turkey just outside the box, centrally. Turkey took one touch, lifted the ball slightly, and hit this fantastic strike with his left foot.
What a goal for his first international one.
Incredible way to get off the mark. Made it 5-2.
And France kept coming.
They did. Dembele came off for Colomwani, add more presence, aerial threat in the box. And who creates the next one? Turkey again.
Of course.
This time from the right half space. Picked out Gusto's run. Gusto's pace, again, maybe exploiting that space Nico Williams might have covered.
Right.
Gusto ran down the right, crossed it. Ended up as a Vivian own goal. Mbappe was right there to tap it in if Vivian hadn't touched it, mind you. But Turkey created it with the vision, the pass. Spain looked way too easy going by now. 5-3.
Unbelievable turnaround.
And they weren't done. Injury time, 5 minutes added. Turkey gets it on the right wing. Cuts inside Cucurella, couldn't stop him this time. Delivers a beautiful, precise cross with his left foot.
And Colomwani
Was right there. Headed it powerfully home. Exactly what he was brought on for. That made it 5-4. Maybe 90 seconds left.
And the whistle blew pretty much right then, cutting the comeback just short.
Yeah, Klatberg blew it right around then. Mbappe was even checking his watch. France fell just short.
So, for France and Deschamps, what's the feeling? Relief at the fight back or concern about the collapse?
Deschamps can probably take some solace. They showed character, avoided that complete humiliation. Might buy him some breathing room. But conceding 5, letting that 4-0 lead become 5-4, it raises big questions.
Like his future.
Possibly. Does he need to go? Zidane, maybe? Especially before the Euros. France has this absolute phenomenal squad bursting with talent, but they keep struggling with defensive stability.
That stat about first half goals conceded.
Yeah, 8 first-half goals in 9 Nations League games before this match? That's bad. Only Armenia and Bosnia worsen the competition. Finding that balance, integrating the attackers, without being so open, it's a massive challenge. And maybe, just maybe, rethinking that reliance on Rabiot in midfield is part of the answer.
What an absolute roller coaster that was.
Yeah.
We started with Spain just looking unstoppable, saw some breathtaking individual moments, and then France's incredible, almost successful fight back.
We really did. Saw Yamal making huge moments look normal, Pedri's unbelievable skill, Nico Williams tormenting defenders, Hussein showing glimpses for Real Madrid fans, Turkey's electric debut for potential City fans, Marino shining for Arsenal supporters. But also France's defensive issues laid bare early on, and then how substitutions and just sheer willpower completely changed the game's flow.
And now we look ahead to that final. Spain versus Portugal on Sunday.
Yeah, and this match really highlighted that fascinating tension in football, didn't it? Individual brilliance versus team structure, especially defensively. France has all these world-class individuals, but Spain, maybe less star power overall up front, just function better as a unit for large parts of the game. How do you harness amazing talent without sacrificing defensive shape? It's the puzzle so many top managers face. Definitely something for you to think about ahead of that final.